Hello, I'm Laz Madish, and this is my presentation for how to film a fight scene. This is for design tools at Full Sail University. We're going to go over just a couple things to talk about, just the fundamentals of how to shoot a fight scene. And this is actually the cast that I worked with on the indie film that I produced with my co-author for the science fiction novel called Kinetic: The First Alliance. We had a lot of fun on this on the shoot and everything like that, but it took a long time, and we had to learn a lot of things that we're really not used to learning. An overview of what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the equipment that you're gonna need. Okay, we're gonna go over the casting choices that you may have. We're gonna go over fight choreography. We're also gonna go over continuity of the film. We're also gonna go over editing and some tips and tricks on how to make it look really good. The equipment that you're gonna need. Obviously, being indie filmmakers, we didn't have this much equipment, but as you can see, there's a lot of equipment that goes into filmmaking. All we had was like a handheld camera, maybe some sound equipment that we really didn't even use, and just some really good actors. Um, but as you can see, there's a lot to go into it. The casting. Now, there's two different choices you can make when you go with casting. You can go with either actors, like we went with, because we wanted to do a whole movie, not just a fight scene. But you could also go with stunt people. Now, stunt people is a little bit better because they have fighting experience and everything like that, and the casting mostly have acting experience. So there's your two choices. Now, fight choreography. That's me and my cousin Monday, who actually was in the film. We spent months trying to get down the right fight moves and everything like that. So it's very important. A lot of people don't think fight choreography is important and think they just go into it and do it, but it's very important because you need to know what you're doing and to keep your actors safe. Now, continuity of the fight. It's very important that you have the right camera angles, that you follow the right rules of filmmaking, like the 180 rule and the rule of thirds, and you need to learn how to change your POVs and have action facing the camera and facing away from the camera. If you do see the film, you'll see a lot of that. So that's very important. Some of the camera angles that we worked with, action facing the camera, action away from the camera. It's very important. It gives a feel of dynamic, and it really sells the impact of each punch and everything like that. And it helps drives the story as well, which is also very important in a fight scene because it's not just fighting; it's story. Now the 180 rule is a very important rule, as you can see in the diagram here. That when you look, there's you have a 180-degree field of vision, and it's very important that the camera angle does not go past that invisible line, because then you get confusion, and it's just very important that you have the those angles correctly. Now, the rule of thirds. I made a little diagram of one of the pictures that we took on scene. The rule of thirds is these 4 PowerPoints. Is very important when you're getting a dynamic shot. It's more appealing to the eye. It's really visually striking picture, which is very important when in filmmaking and everything. Negative space is also a very important emotion driven shot. So as you can see, our actors all the way to the left, and we have all of that negative space in between it, in between the shot, so that there's a scene direction, there's a forced perspective, there's a lot of emotion there. Next up is editing. Editing is very important, and it by far takes the longest. It took us literally months to do all the editing, and it took us months to do the filming, but editing is very important and very time consuming, but it needs to be done right. You need to have someone to do the editing right. And some of the editings are removing a frame from a fight scene right before the punch impacts the other actor. Well, not really impact, but right before the punch connects, you remove the frame. That way, as you can see here, you can clearly see the frame was removed. You could see that the punch is a little bit more impactful, and it goes a little faster and helps with the speed. Special effects. Now, special effects, just because you don't have special like powers, like superpowers in your movie or in your fight scene, special effects is also very important. If you look at the movie Sin City, nobody had superpowers, but the whole thing was special effects driven with the art behind it. So special effects is very important. Now, slow motion is also a very important part of the fight scene. As you could see, like obviously our actors didn't really go at it, but with the slow motion, it made the fight look more impactful. It made more emotion when you see him fall like that. You're like, oh man, he really got hit. So it's very important that you use slow motion in key parts. Now sound effects is what really makes the fight come alive. Now, like sound effects like oof and pow really doesn't sound. Real life doesn't make those sounds, but in film they always have that punch sound. They always have that from the punches to the sound effects to the special effects to even people hitting the ground. Now, scoring is a very important part. Now, some people, you gotta know when to put music in, when not to put music in. Some fight scenes don't have music; they just have like the driving action. But some do. Our fight scene does have a lot of scoring to it, and you could even, tie up the fight with, to the beat of the music. So that's very important and very good to do. Drives the fight. Color correction is also very important. It couples with continuity of the film. As you can see on the left, there's a more cinematic film. It looks all in focus and everything. On the one on the right, really didn't. A recap of what we did. We went over the equipment you need, the casting choices that you have, how important fight choreography is, the continuity of the film, post-production, slash editing, which is all very important stuff to make the fight look really, really cinematically good. Thank you for watching. This has been great. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you ever do decide to make a fight video, please consult me. I'll be happy to help, and have a good day.